to the federal government. In the meantime, this health care bill that is now law mandates a penalty for people who do not have health insurance. The exact language says this: there is hereby imposed a penalty that shall be included with a taxpayer's return. So then, does that mean the IRS will become a sort of enforcer of the law? If so, there might be a problem out there, because the CBO estimates that will cost the IRS $5 billion or more over the next 10 years. Some say as high as $15 billion to handle the new workload. But the measure does not provide any extra funding for the agency to hire those workers. So will the IRS come knocking on your door and see if you're covered? Supporters of the plan say no, that's a myth. It won't do that. Critics of the plan say this will open up a whole new level of government scrutiny. California Congressman Brian Bilbray, Republican member of the House Government Oversight Committee, is with me now. And, sir, there's a lot of confusion on this. What's the truth about the IRS role now?
The truth is they're going to have to spend $5 to $10 billion at least to enforce it. Right now, the estimate is 16,500 new IRS agents that need to be hired on to be able to enforce it. You know, Washington forgets that all this great talk and theory in Washington has to be applied somewhere, and you've got to hire people to do it. So this is probably the job stimulus that they were talking about. There's going to be the stimulus to have to hire almost, over 16,000 new IRS agents.
Well, sir, how would they, based on your understanding of what the law states, how would the IRS enforce this?
Well, the interesting thing about it is, for those who are paying their taxes and playing by the rules, there may be the vehicle of just saying that your withholdings and your refunds will be withheld as a penalty to you if you're in that category. But if you're in a category that's under the radar, you're in the underground economy, you're not paying, first of all, your fair share of taxes right now. Don't even have any vehicle to do it. So it ends up being on the honor system.
If you were owed a refund by the IRS, I mean, based on your understanding of the law, could they withhold that refund if you did not meet the health care mandate? Is that your understanding?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you believe that? Now, the Speaker's office put out all these mythbusters yesterday. It's saying that the IRS cannot confiscate assets, cannot impose criminal penalties, that everybody that talks about this, frankly, isn't telling the truth. They also say about these 16,000 workers, they say the number's a fabrication. Now, is the Speaker's office right, or are you right?
No, that 16,000 actually came out of the Ways and Means Committee on specifically looking at how to enforce this. So she's got to talk to her own people if she doesn't like that number. I mean, that's when you get around. You've got to get... you've obviously got to create a bureaucracy to follow and chase the regulations. And Ms. Pelosi may not have been a mayor like I have or a chairman of a county, but the fact is anybody who's ever operated government understands you don't put together a huge situation that's now going to manage one-sixth of the economy, and don't expect a whole lot of bureaucrats to have to get in the way.
I tell you this, anytime you get a letter in the mail and it says IRS written on it, you get that uh-oh factor. But if you're trying to generate revenue and you're trying to enforce this somehow, and if it is the law right now, and if you're trying to balance your books, if the IRS isn't the enforcer, who would do that?
Well, if they aren't, then you're right. Then all at once, all of this stuff they say is going to happen can't happen because there's nobody there to make it happen. And so you've got to have the IRS agents because you're using the tax code to justify all of these regulatory changes.
Brian Bilbray with The View from the Other Side. Sir, we wanted to get you on today. We were talking to the Speaker's office yesterday, trying to balance these issues and try and figure out what the truth is in the end, so our viewers get a fair shake. Sir, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
To be continued.